Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm filming my December eyeshadow palette ranking video. So if you guys are interested, just keep watching. If you are new to my channel, welcome. My name is KARENHARRIS. I like to film tan girl friendly makeup videos here on YouTube. I do post quite often, so highly recommend subscribing, turning on that bell so you're notified every time I post, and without further blabbering, let's get into it. Okay, you guys, so here is another series that I do every month on my channel, and it is my eyeshadow palette ranking video. So in case you are new, I just want to explain what I do is I keep track of all the eyeshadow palettes I use in a month, and in the next month I rank them all. So I know everybody does things a little bit differently here on YouTube, but that's how I do it. And I just really enjoy it. It's a great way for me to give you guys like speed reviews, some thoughts on the palettes, but most of the time I will have a video already on my YouTube channel on the individual palette, but I just like to rank them because I feel like ranking videos are always fun and relevant. And especially if you just want like the summary, if you don't want to watch every single video, totally get it. This is a great way for you to kind of just get all the skinny details on these palettes. So let's go ahead and start off. I feel like December is a bit of a wild card for me because I ended up getting pretty sick and I just didn't have as much time to create content as I would have liked. But it's a new year, so we are gonna go ahead and do the best we can in 2024. I have 12 palettes to rank, so let's start off with palette number 12. I feel like this is a bit of an unfair ranking for the Fatally Yours palette, but I really have only used 2 shades in this palette. I still want to create a video with this one, but I did use it in conjunction with some shimmer shades that you'll see further up in this video. I feel like for my first impression thoughts, just seeing this palette in person, it's a very grungy palette, so I'm very curious to hear how like makeup beginners or maybe even people that don't use all matte palettes all the time, like what are your thoughts on this? I've seen my friends create incredible looks with this, so I feel like I have some inspiration, but overall this is a great kind of pairing palette if you want some deepening up matte shades but you don't want just a black shade. Like if you want some color but deep colors, this could be the one for you. But I was really hoping that Bailey Syrian would give us something with a bit of a better mix. It's very much a milk palette, and I can see Bailey in this as well with the plaid embossings on the pans and stuff like that. Of course, the outer packaging is absolutely stunning as well. So yeah, I don't feel like this really deserves number 12, but I haven't used it enough to rank it any higher than that, so that's why it's in the 12th spot. In 11th place, I'm going to give it to the DD Signature Holographic Shadows. This is an all shimmer, build your own palette kind of concept that they're doing on their website. So again, I don't think it's really fair to rank this in the 11th spot because it is technically a bunch of single shadows, but since I have it in a palette form, I decided to include it in ranking. And I think these are nice eyeshadows. I'm definitely trying really hard not to buy eyeshadow singles, so I'm happy that it's all contained in a palette. And I did put the Fantasy Cosmetica singles in my last ranking, so I thought it would be fair to do the same this time around. These are beautiful individual shadows. I just prefer to have a good balance of mattes and shimmers, so that's why I'm putting this in 11th place. I'm ranking number 10 in the 10th spot for the exact same reason as the last palette. I used to be really into all shimmer palettes, but now I just like a really good color story. I feel like these are nice for people that want to build out their own color stories, and especially if they're magnetized, you can take them out and like plop them in with your other single shadows. But for me, I'm definitely more into just like the concept, the color story, the theme. All of the things need to kind of be in good balance for me to appreciate an eyeshadow palette. Not that I don't appreciate this type of palette, I just feel like it's not really what I'm looking for when it comes to eyeshadow palettes. So this is okay. I feel like Bella Beaute Bar has way more interesting palettes than this one, but that's just my personal opinion, and they did send this to me, so this is in the 10th spot. Just so you guys know as well, if you are new here, I usually will put the ranking like number of the palette on the screen, and then if it was sent to me in PR, I'll put the like word gifted on the screen. And if I have an affiliate code, which is a discount code, but I will make a small commission, also known as an affiliate code, I usually put my code on the screen as well, so I don't have to keep mentioning it. I typically don't talk about that very often, but since this is my first ranking video of 2024, I thought I would mention that, and I have gained a few subscribers since I posted my eyeshadow palette collection video. So just want to let you guys know how we do things around here. Now in 9th place, I had to give it to the little My Dream palette from Natasha Denona. This was inspired by a shade in her Mini Dream palette. I just feel like they're so similar, you definitely don't need both. So yeah, I mean, I bought it anyway because I am a makeup savage like that. But let me know, like, did you guys have the Midi and you bought the Mini as well? Or did you buy one or the other? I really like the Dream palette. I like the color story. It has a good balance of light shades and deep shades and like a multi-chrome and stuff like that. So it's pretty fun. This is really cute too. I really like this color story. I love this really dark brown shade in here. I love when the palette has good contrast because that's my favorite kind of makeup look to do. So yeah, this is cute and the quality is really nice as well. Okay, in 8th place, we're going to give it to the Sigma Quarter Rosa. Now, my ranking videos, I do include older palettes, even ones from previous years, because sometimes I go back into my collection and use older palettes. I don't always film with them, but if I do an eye look with an older palette, I still make a note of it so I can include them in my monthly rankings. I am still going to film my 2023 eyeshadow palette ranking video, but in that big video, I only stick to palettes launching in 2023 because otherwise we would be here for a very, very long time. I used about 160 something palettes last year, so there's no way I could rank every single one. Some of them are from previous years. So that's another thing I want to tell you guys. But anyway, this is the Quarter Rosa mini palette. I actually have this included in my Sigma favorite set. Again, if you didn't know, I got to work with Sigma Beauty. They're one of my favorite brands and I have a favorite set with them. So the Quarter Rosa palette, the full size one, is the first palette I tried from Sigma. Yeah, it's the first palette I tried ever since they started doing like that layout they have now. And so I just thought it would make perfect sense for me to have the mini version in my favorite set. My favorite set is always linked down below, and I did try and create some content for it because it's been a while since I talked about my set. And so that's why I actually dug back in. But this is a cute palette. It has some really beautiful neutrals as well as these beautiful berry tones. I also feel like this is a great palette if you want to mix with some special shades like an all shimmer palette. That would be a fun one to have in your collection. Okay, in 6th place we have the Dead of Night palette from Unearthly. This is an older palette as well from the brand. I was inspired to pull this out because I was watching other creators do their eyeshadow palette collection, and if you guys know anything about me, I love green eyeshadow. I also love like blues and purples. I think eyeshadow palettes like this are like my favorite color story. So when I saw this in a video, I was like, ooh, let me play with that. And so I had fun creating a look with this palette. I think this launched in 2022. If you haven't heard of the brand Unearthly Cosmetics, they're an amazing indie brand. I talk about them quite a bit on my channel as well. So highly recommend checking them out if this is your first time hearing about the brand. In 6th place, we have the Envy palette from Ace Beaute. This one was another palette that I was inspired to pull out when I was watching other people rank their eyeshadow palettes. Again, another beautiful green, blue, grungy color story. This one also launched in 2022. I think it was pretty high up in my eyeshadow palette ranking of 2022. I love Ace Beaute's formula, and so I just wanted to create something with it. So I did pull that out in December. In 5th place, we have a palette that was one of my favorite palettes of the year. This is the Strawberry Moon palette from Ensley Rain, and I was doing my makeup for my birthday and I really wanted to play with some of the multi-chromes in this palette. So This was, I think, the first palette I tried from them, and I was so impressed. The multi-chromes are beautiful. I did pick up their Cold Moon palette. I'm still waiting for it to get here. So excited to play with it. And yeah, Ensley Rain was definitely one of my favorite brands of 2023, and they're relatively new to me, so I'm so excited to see what they launch in 2024. Okay, this is an unexpected great palette in my opinion, and it is the Glamlight Garfield palette. I feel like I got a little bit fatigued by Glamlight, especially in 2023. They were launching so many collections, a lot of horror. They've been doing a lot of IP stuff. I know I've seen so many different comments from people saying very similar things to me. I also feel like they've really blown up on TikTok, so you know, they are like giving people what they want. Maybe if it's not what I want, that's fine. But it seems like they're doing really well, so I'm very happy for them. I'm actually wearing the Glamlight Cookies and Cream eyeshadow palette today, and then this is the Milk Chocolate Lip Kit. So this video is either up or is coming soon. I just think it is a fun collection. I didn't pick this up. They actually ended up sending it to me randomly in December, so I did film with it. But this Garfield palette, I was like, I don't need it. But then I just bought it anyway because I was like, well, I do like to review their stuff, and I'm so happy I picked this up. The quality is amazing. If you want a neutral palette with a little bit of a twist, you should check out the Glamlight Garfield palette. Okay, in third place, we have the beautiful Simply Posh Cosmetics Aurora Lights palette. This is so stunning. I feel like this gradient kind of layout is one of the signature things that Simply Posh does. And again, like I've said, I'm going to sound like a broken record in this video, but I love greens, purples, and blues mixed together in a palette. You can clearly see that that's the theme here, and Simply Posh makes some beautiful eyeshadows. They're very soft and delicate, but they blend beautifully. I do wish this palette had a little bit more contrast in it, but I do have quite a few other eyeshadow palettes from them, so if I wanted to, I could do some mixing and matching. But this is a great palette from Simply Posh. One of my favorite color stories they've done this year. Okay, next I have the Christmas Town palette from Melt Cosmetics. I think this is such a pretty palette. I love this color story. I created the most beautiful green look with it, and I feel like the eyeshadows work really well in this palette. Sometimes with Melt, it can be a bit of a hit or miss. They're one of my favorite indie brands, but they've been growing quite a bit. They went into Sephora, and I feel like they've been inconsistent for quite some time. This palette, I personally think, is a really nice formula. Blends really nicely. It's very pigmented. I do wish they would do more special shades, but they did do some really fun packaging here, and I just love the Christmas Town, Halloween Town thing they did this year. It was very fun. Very Melt, very unique, so love this one, and that is why it is in second place. Okay, so in first place, I feel like I just love this color story so much. It is the Gourmand Girls Silent Night palette. It's been so fun to watch Gourmand Girls grow. They've really improved their packaging. They've improved their formula, so I can't wait to see what they have in store in 2024. But you know, this is just such a great take on the holidays. I feel like so many brands do greens and reds and golds, and this is just such a wintry wonderland kind of vibe. You guys know where I live, it's very cold, so this definitely makes me feel those winter storm vibes, like a little bit of ice stormy vibes. Definitely giving me Frozen. But I think this is such a cute palette because it has a bunch of neutral shades. So if you want to do a neutral look, you can do that. If you want to do like a yellow gold look, you have that option. You have the option to do some beautiful blue looks. So this is a fun palette. I did feel like some of the shades were a little bit repetitive. Like I feel like they could have refined this a little bit more. But overall, I am so happy with this palette. So it is my favorite palette of December, and that's why it's in the #1 spot. Okay friends, so that is everything for my December eyeshadow palette ranking video. I would love to know what your favorite palette of December was. Let me know down in the comments. Also, like I mentioned, I will be filming my eyeshadow palette ranking video for 2023. It does take me a little while to put that together because I gotta pull a lot of palettes. I gotta decide what order to put them all in, and then I actually have to film the beast of a video. So please bear with me. I cannot wait to get that done for you guys. So yeah, Let me know what your favorite palette of December is. Thank you guys so much for hanging with me, and I will see you in another video very soon. Bye friends!